Afternoon, I call the December 4, 2023 meeting of the Greenville Board of Public Works and Safety to order at 5:30 p.m. Roll call, please, Amanda.
Mr. Coleman.
Here.
Mr. Hoover.
Here.
Mr. Rutherford.
Here.
Thank you.
We have two sets of minutes to consider this afternoon. The first one is the regular session of November 8th, 2023. Is there any corrections, additions, or deletions from that by staff? Seeing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And the second set is from our last meeting on November 20th. Again, any corrections, additions, or deletions from staff? Hearing none, it's the pleasure of the board.
I'll move for approval. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We're going to skip ahead a little bit to item 20 on the agenda this morning. We're going to refer to Mr. Hudson.
This is a resolution. In the past, you've had to rely on me to remember to ask for the mayor or deputy mayor to sign on your behalf when you approve things. Since it's almost in everything we do, that the deputy mayor or mayor sign, I thought it would be a good idea to have a resolution that made that the presumption rather than the ask.
So we've got resolution 2314 in front of us. Any questions for Sam on that? We talked about this at the last meeting, the propriety of that. Now is there a motion to approve that?
So moved. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We took that out of order, so it will facilitate some of the things we're even doing this evening. Okay, we'll go back to Mr. Cole. A few contracts for us to consider.
You skipped to
Terry.
two.
Oh, that's right.
I'm doing it for Terry.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thanks.
If you want to do Rob, I can just wait till my time to do it.
Do
All
it.
right, cool. You're up.
Good evening, Rob Cole, Greenwood IT Director, here requesting approval of 4 contracts with ERS Wireless for the Justice Center, City Center, the airport, and for the fire department. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Rob about these contracts?
They're similar to the ones we had before.
Yeah, this is just an expansion of the Vigilon camera project that we've been working on for the past year.
I'll move for approval. Second.
All 4 of them, and those are for whoever signs. Further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Chief, that's some things from your office.
Good evening. Here first to ask for approval to make some modifications to our current policy governing uniforms and attire policies and procedures. Beginning January 1st, we're going to change the way that we do uniform allowance. Each year, officers get $1,200 to buy uniforms. Instead of giving them a check, we are going to purchase the uniforms for them. They essentially will order the uniforms and send us the bills. This does a couple things. Number one, it ensures that the money goes for what it's supposed to. And number two, it actually gives them a little more purchasing power because it will be tax exempt because the department will own it. So it's a win-win all the way around. But the policy modifications are actually additions to our current policies. We just create subsections governing the uniform allowance.
Chief, so the first one you want us to do is 2312. Both of them. Resolution.
Yes. Should have brought my glasses. And we take one at a time.
Let's do 2312 first. 2312 is amending the policy in regards to uniform allowance. As opposed to 2313 is the procedure. So both kind of encompass the same thing. Somebody wanna Make a motion for resolution 2312.
I move that we approve resolution 2312 as presented.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And then 2313. Pleasure of the board.
I'll move for approval of resolution 2313.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. On that note, it's not on the agenda, I guess I'd like to maybe walk an additional topic on. You remember when we first went with Lexipol, Lexipol regularly updates our policy manual. Make changes to the policies, and basically the way it works is to make changes. When I go in as the administrator, it will send me a list of their proposed changes. I then set them into, I go through them. If I approve of the changes, I approve it. And then typically what we would do is we would come to you before we issue them to the officers. If you remember, you granted me, at the time I asked, because I didn't realize how many there would be and how often it would be. At the time we passed the policy and procedure manual, I asked if you would be okay with me automatically approving and issuing anything that had to do with law, state or federal law updates, because we don't have a choice with that, and you did. The issue and what I'm going to ask now is that you would allow me anything that is not something that I am adding into the policy like I did here. So I made changes to the policy myself, and Lexipol did not make these changes. Anything that they send me, and most of it is, it can be as simple as pronoun changes in the wording, but they send a lot. And right now I have about, just from this year, 25 that are in approval, that if not, I have to come back next meeting and ask for permission to issue them. What I would like is the blanket approval to issue anything that Lexipol deems a necessary update that I also approve. Sometimes it's so insignificant, they've got it into, like I said, pronouns that, it can be that insignificant, but it can also be very burdensome on you as a body if I'm asking for this several times a year.
Well, thank you for thinking of us, but I mean, I think those are ministerial functions that the chief can take care of better than us doing
We're
that.
not qualified.
And we trust the chief that if there's something in there that he thinks needs somebody else just to have a thumbprint on, you can raise that too. That'd be I'd make that motion.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. My last request is, we have several firearms that we need to dispose of from our property room. These can be anything from personal property to evidence of crimes. On the original request that you got, I asked, we were going to trade them into Keesler's for credit. After reconsideration, I think I'd like to change the way we handle that and just have them destroyed. There's a company in Indianapolis called Gunbusters, and they basically disassemble and melt them down. I don't want them winding up back on the streets. Is the issue.
Sure. Questions from the chief on that topic?
I move for approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks, chief. Have a good rest of your afternoon and evening.
You too.
Mr. Petty, if I say to you.
Good evening.
Evening.
Here tonight, for a couple items. First one is a request of approval to use Sourcewell contract to purchase a 2023 New Holland TS6 tractor with a Tiger mid-mount boom mower for the street department for the amount of $174,394.19. And this will be paid for using funds that are going to carry over from the 22 GO bond and additional funds carried over from the 2023 street department budget.
Todd, I have a guess, but with that kind of money, I'm gonna ask the question, what's a boom mower?
Seeing we have one, this one's a little bigger. It's the tractor that goes down, has a big boom with a blade. deck that comes off the side, knows the ditches and
I wouldn't guess right.
long range.
Probably safer to do it that way
I have a truck.
than I guess have guys that.
Yes.
Easy going.
Are we getting rid of the current one or?
No, just being additional.
Addition?
And this is this a special purchase exception we're dealing with here?
Yeah, it's using, it's from the Sourcewell contract.
Sourcewell, you've already approved, we've already made the findings to approve Sourcewell as a buy. Approved from Minneapolis.
Other questions for Todd? A motion to approve that.
I'll move that we approve the purchase.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Secondly, I'm requesting approval to order 9 Chevrolet 2500 pickup, four-wheel drive pickup trucks. This will be 3 for waste management, 3 for parks, and 3 for sanitation. And this is going to be similar as I had to request last year. We don't have pricing, so I'm asking the board to approve them at a not to exceed $55,000 per truck. I know you don't necessarily approve the purchase of the parks trucks, but I'm also asking that parks and you approve the parks and waste management trucks, the approval to pay for them using the Huntington lease, which is your lease.
Greg, that's all okay?
Yep.
Questions on that? For Todd?
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Todd. Take care. Mr. Duncan, you're up.
Kenny Duncan, street superintendent. First thing I have is where to get permission to purchase Apex Sea Meltdown for $1.51 per gallon for 2024 for the Great Lakes Chloride. They're the exclusive Indiana vendor for this product and not to exceed $50,000. Get legal to prepare a contract.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item, Jim.
They come up with is stone prices for 2024. I sent out a thing and asked companies to quote me on 53 stone, number 2 stone, number 8 stone, sand and riprap. When I sent that out, I had 3 companies that sent me something back. Shelby Materials, US Aggregate, Martin Marietta. 2 of the companies bid everything I asked. US Aggregate did not bid sand, but I'll read their prices off. 53 stone, Shelby Materials was $16.50. US Aggregate was $11.25 a ton. Martin Marietta, I took their cheapest price because they bid several different plants, $17.55 a ton. Number 2 stone, Shelby was $16.50 a ton. US Ag was $9.25 a ton. Martin Marietta was $18.25 a ton. Number 8 stone, Shelby was $19. US Ag $17.50. Martin Marietta $26.05. Sand, Shelby was $11. US Ag no bid. Martin Marietta $18.55. Sands we use different things. Sometimes we gotta mix it with our salt if we need to get traction, chemical spills or something out there when the fire department don't have enough oil dry, we'll throw that on it to soak up oil, or say the trash truck's got a leak. Riprap, Shelby was $20 a ton, US Ag $14.25, Martin Marietta $26.90. With that being said, I'd like to ask the board to allow Shelby Materials to be my provider for 2024 and legal to prepare a contract.
And I think noting that, I mean, Paul, US Ag may have some lower prices that they've quoted you, there's no guarantee of availability or
No,
prices going up, so
that's what they said.
that doesn't help us any, okay? Is there a motion to approve Shelby Materials as the lowest responsible bidder? Stone items, stone and sand.
So moved.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Last, I go on to concrete. We have asked 3 companies to bid that. They all turned in a bid. That was Shelby Materials, IMI, and SRM Concrete. I had 2 companies quote what I asked them to quote. I'll run those off in a minute, but I asked them to bid 4,000 PSI concrete, 6-bag concrete, 7-bag concrete, and flowable fill. Shelby for 4,000 concrete was $160 a yard. Mine was $167. SRM was $157. One thing I'm gonna tell you when I'm reading this off, Shelby does have a fuel charge. Theirs right now would be $19 per load. IMI has an environmental fee of $20 per load. And SRM, if you look at theirs, they had a $4 price increase in April and a fuel charge of $40 per load. So I didn't add those in there. I gave you some examples when I sent it to you. But 6-bag, Shelby had $166 a yard, IMI $172, SRM was $160. 7-bag, Shelby was $172, IMI $178, SRM $166. Flowable fill, Shelby was $126. IMI didn't give me a price, and SRM was $151. If you do the math, with that being said, I found Shelby Material to be the lowest responsible bidder. And I'd like to select them to be my 2024 provider. Legal.
I would move for approval.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you for doing the math. So we didn't have to. Mr. Munoz, Fisher Homes. You with us online? These something.
Yeah, we can handle these. Yeah, use all one for you like them individually. Correct, yeah.
We can do one together.
This is for Bright Estates, section 3, section 4A, and section 4B. Accept listed improvements for each of these sections, except the maintenance guarantees, and the performance guarantees are the same. Each of these section, we're still waiting on receipt of revised maintenance guarantees for erosion control, asphalt surface, and tack coat. They did get us a copy, we had some minor changes on it, so we're expecting that to be sent.
Would that condition be for all 3 sections?
Move that we approve subject to those conditions for all 3 sections.
I'll second that. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Mark. Justin, for replat, lot 4 and 5, Horseville Commerce Center.
Yep. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can, thank you, Justin.
Excellent.
What do we do?
We are going for the final replat of our Horseville Commerce Center Phase 2 development. lots 4 and 5. These were previously two separate lots. It's going to be combined into one larger lot, as well as adding in adjacent 7 acres east of the property into the Orr's Commerce Center Park. This is, we have just completed our vacation process to remove some of the outdated easements from when this was two lots. So now we're just looking for final approval to accept and execute this for recording.
And Mark, this looks like the recommendations for unconditional approval, correct?
Correct.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Good. Mr. Ilko, good evening. Oh, you're here first. I'm sorry, I'm looking up. Yeah, I know. That's fine.
We're here actually for both the building addition and the east display lot improvements at the for the Raystone Hyundai there on South US 31. Each is acknowledgement of completion improvements. The east display lot, there was no as-built or anything. It was basically restriping and adding on a couple landscape islands. The building addition did have as-built. We've submitted the Mylars to Jeff Weaver and Paul Peony, as well as the outstanding check for inspection fees. And then just requesting the release of the performance guarantees for both, no maintenance guarantees necessary.
If I'm reading this correctly, Mark, the conditions were the Mylars and the fees and what Greg has presented and they've been.
That's correct.
Do these together. Similar.
I move that we approve the requests.
Second.
Further discussion? And still with the conditions put on there.
Correct.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Both of them?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Anyone from the audience wish to address us here in the room or online? Hearing none, let's go to Mr. Hodgson with your status of that.
I'd like to start with Alpha Mechanical Services Agreement. That was number 2 on your agenda. This is just for mechanical services for the police department. It is slightly lower than the contract that we had with the vendor last year. Deputy Mayor McLaughlin interviewed a few firms and wants to give this one a try.
Other questions for Sam? Hearing none, I'll move for approval. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
First up on my task is the acceptance of the Community Development Block Grant with the Bridges Alliance of Johnson County. The Bridges Alliance of Johnson County provides services to low-income families. This is the same group and the same amount that you approved last year, $12,500.
I'll move for approval. Daniel, second.
Yes.
Thank you. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Sam. Mark?
The first item I have for you is from our 2022-2 CDMG project. It's a general release of claims for damage to a roadway. In August of 2023, our contractor All-Star Paving completed surface asphalt on Kensington Park Road. Within a week or two, a company called 5 Star Electric dropped some trailer rams on it and damaged the nice, fresh, brand new asphalt. The good news was it was fresh enough when we used that virgin mix that All-Star was able to come back out, heat it up, and roll it back out. And you can't even tell the damage is there. 5 Star Electric has agreed to cover the cost of that work. They just asked them to sign this release of claims. Engineering is happy with the work that was done, and legal has reviewed it. We've had just one comment on the release of claims, and that's it says Kensington Road. It should say Kensington Park Road.
Questions for Mark? I'll move approval of that, subject to the final review and approval of the legal department.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
The last item I have is a operations and maintenance for water quality for the Seven Cruise site located at 1140 North State Route 135.
Where's that at?
It is 135 Meridian Meadows. It's pretty close to County Line Road.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, there was a building
Yeah.
that used to be on that corner that got torn down. Yeah, across from Horizon.
Questions? I move we approve the signing of the operation and maintenance manual for water quality.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Is that it, Mark?
That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Hey. Over there.
For approval of the claims as presented.
I'll second that. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. We'll stand adjourned at 5:54 a.m.